We start with the Red Sea crisis. It is escalating and putting vital Indian trade routes at risk. In 2 days, 2 Indian ships have been attacked. These are commercial vessels. They were targeted by drones. And who was behind these attacks? The US says it was Iran. Tehran has denied the charge. Meanwhile, traders are anxious. Maritime trade worth $200 billion is at stake. Let me tell you what happened over the weekend. The first attack took place on Saturday on a ship called MV Chem Pluto. This vessel transports chemicals. It is owned by a Japanese, operated by a Dutch entity, and apparently linked to Israel. Reports say this ship is connected to a man called Aiden Ofer. He is a shipping tycoon from Israel. It's not clear how he is linked to the ship. On Saturday, the ship left Saudi Arabia. It was on its way to India. 22 crew members were on board. 21 of them were Indian. 1 of them was from Vietnam. The ship was here in the Arabian Sea, just 370 kilometers off the Indian coast. At around 10 o'clock local time, the ship was struck by a drone. It caught fire. Thankfully, no casualties. Now, assets from the Indian Navy are in the region. They're providing assistance, facilitating safe movement of cargo. So when Chem Pluto was hit, the Indian Navy diverted an aircraft. It flew over the ship and contacted the crew. Later, a warship also made its way to the site, the INS Mormugao. This is a new ship, a guided missile destroyer. The drone strike did not lead to significant damage, so the Chem Pluto resumed its journey to Mumbai, this time under escort of an Indian Coast Guard vessel called Vikram. Vikram is accompanying the Chem Pluto to Mumbai. The US too was monitoring these developments. And on Saturday, the Pentagon blamed Iran for the attack. It's a very serious allegation. The US statement says the drone was launched from Iran. It was a one-way attack drone designed to explode when it hits the target. And what is the basis of this claim? If the US has any intel, it has not shared it. Earlier today, Tehran spoke out. It said, American claims are false. So New Delhi will have to navigate this cautiously because India and Iran have an old partnership, while the US and Iran are old and bitter rivals. And tensions between the two are growing. The latest bone of contention is the Houthi rebels in Yemen. They're targeting commercial ships. Since November, the Houthis have attacked more than 10 ships all over the war in Gaza. The Houthis say they're punishing Israel for it. And Iran supports the Houthis, also gives them drones and missiles.
Past weekend saw 4 attacks against 3 separate commercial vessels operating in international waters in the southern Red Sea. We have every reason to believe that these attacks, while they were launched by the Houthis in Yemen, were fully enabled by Iran.
So far, the attacks were confined to the Red Sea, but Saturday's incident indicates an escalation. It happened in the Arabian Sea, miles away from the Red Sea. And if the American claims are true, Iran was directly involved. But like I said before, Tehran has rejected that claim. It has also responded to the US. Listen to this.
Yemen has officially declared its position. Its official spokesman of its Yemeni government repeats their actions daily. Yemen's move in the Red Sea is really and completely a Yemeni move in support of Gaza. And this American accusation about involvement in the recent Navy attack is a baseless accusation against the Islamic Republic.
On Sunday, there was another attack on another Indian ship, the MV Sai Baba. It had 25 crew members, all of them Indians. The Sai Baba was operating in the Red Sea. This vessel, too, was headed towards India. It was struck by a drone. The ship issued distress calls. A US warship responded, the USS Laboon. Again, no casualties were reported, but the repercussions are wide-ranging. There could be casualties beyond human life. The Indian economy itself could be impacted. And we've talked about this before. The Red Sea is an important trade route, the shortest link between Asia and Europe, with ships passing through the Suez Canal. Every year, goods worth more than $1 trillion, more than $1 trillion, pass through the Suez. This route is vital for the Indian economy. 20% of India's exports pass through it. I have some estimates for this year. In 2023, crude worth $105 billion, merchandise exports worth $106 billion, and imports worth $98 billion passed through the Suez. This is the kind of money at stake. And shipment costs are already mounting. You see, ships need insurance. They don't move without insurance. And with these attacks, the cost of insurance has shot up by anywhere between 10 to 15 lakh rupees at this point, or $12,000 to $18,000. Also, many ships are avoiding the Red Sea to take longer routes. So time and fuel cost have both increased. According to some estimates, shipping times have gone up by 2 weeks. Freight costs are up by 30 to 40%. And who will bear this additional cost? Us, the consumers. The exporters will pass on the burden to buyers, and prices of some products will increase, like crude, palm oil, cereal, machinery, electrical goods, auto components, apparel and textiles. So if these attacks continue, you will feel the pinch. Although there is some good news today. Maersk is a major shipping company. It will go back to the Red Sea route. It is relying on the US Coalition for Safety, the coalition of 20 countries called Operation Prosperity Guardian. That's what they're calling it. They announced it last week. These countries will patrol the Red Sea to secure the shipping lanes. The Houthis have a warning for them.
We will not stand idly by if the Americans are tempted to escalate further and commit foolishness by targeting our country or waging war against it. We will respond to any American targeting, and we will make American battleships, interests and navigation a target for our missiles, drones and military operations.
So the Houthis say they will now target American ships, and this can only mean one thing. This crisis is getting bigger.